I'm Seila Mosquera-Bruno, Commissioner for Connecticut Department of Housing, and it's with great pleasure that I'm here today to MC this great announcement, the Housing Growth Bill. This bill has been the result of collaboration among legislators, our governor, lieutenant governor, our municipalities, and also housing advocates. The Housing Growth Bill proposed a wide-ranging set of reforms and programs aimed at increasing housing availability, affordability, and equity across Connecticut. So I'm going to take a minute to ask Majority Leader Jason Rojas to come to the podium.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to pull up and make a joke about why everybody was here today. I appreciate you all being here, and certainly Senator Duff, my partner in this effort, couldn't be with us today because he's traveling, but certainly I valued his partnership, his leadership, and I think the governor can attest his overall level of aggressiveness on wanting to get a housing bill done. So really appreciate his leadership and his participation, and his staff participating in this. But it's a great day. It's a great day for Connecticut. It's a great day for housing policy here. We know it's been a long road over the last couple of months. There's been acrimony and this and that, but what you see standing behind me is really what matters, right? We have leaders from the local level, from the regional level, certainly from the administration, from the legislature, advocates, all standing here, trying to focus on the end game and focus on the prize, right? And the prize is advancing policy that creates homes for people and for families to live in here in Connecticut. One, to support families and individuals. Two, to grow our economy. Three, to grow our communities and ensure that we can be as economically vibrant as we should be. And housing is at the core of economic vibrancy. And the bill that we have come to agreement on is really going to advance Connecticut and our ability to achieve those goals. So I am grateful for the participation and the leadership exhibited by everybody behind me. And there's Republicans, there's Democrats. And I think that's really what our state needs right now. It's what our people expect of us. They expect us to lead. They expect us to get around the table. They expect us to compromise. And the product that we have before us today is exactly that. And I'm really proud to have been part of this effort and have contributed my voice to this issue, which clearly is near and dear to me. But I just appreciate the support, again, of everybody behind me, and certainly Governor Lamont, who's going to be speaking next, who didn't walk away from the table when perhaps more than enough people wanted us to walk away from the table. We stayed through it. We had hard conversations, and ultimately we compromised, and Connecticut's going to be better off for it. And with that, I want to have the governor of the state of Connecticut come up and offer some remarks.
Hey, thanks to you, Jason, and Bob Duff. We're not walking away. We all agreed that you talk about affordability, you talk about opportunity, it really starts with housing. And I wanted to make sure that we had a bill that included the people who are standing behind me. These are the mayors and the first selectmen and the folks who are going to implement this and make sure they have a plan that gets more housing into their small towns and big cities. And that's what I want to make sure we do with this bill today. It's going to come up in the special session. It will be released to all the players, within hours. So there's plenty of time to take a good, hard look at it. Look, Susan and I, every day we think about what we want the state of Connecticut to look like in 5 or 10 years. And this bill tells mayors and first selectmen, what do you want your town to look like in 5 or 10 years? And start planning accordingly. Where do you want that housing to go? Are you going to zone accordingly? What else do you need? We want to be your partner. Talking to the small towns, they were worried. They said, look, I need sewer and water before I can start building some housing in my smaller downtown areas. So we said, the state's going to be your partner in what you need to do. We said, I want the towns and cities to think about where they can put housing. I know a lot of people say, oh my God, this is all NIMBY and not in my backyard. We're not talking about backyards. We're talking about old parking lots like what we are here today. This is going to be housing. We're talking about shopping centers up at Enfield, shopping centers that are now underutilized. How we fill that in and make sure it's housing. Make sure that means we expand the grand list, bring down property taxes, and find affordable places to live. We're talking about transit-oriented development in downtown areas. And I say, look, if you're going to build that housing down there, we'll be there to speed up and get more regular rail service, like we're doing on the Waterbury line. We'll be there to help you, rebuild your train stations. We want to be there as your partner. We want to take these underutilized pieces of property, like old shopping centers, like semi-empty commercial buildings, and I want to turn them back into something that's vibrant, where young people can afford to start a family and buy their first home, where seniors or parents, my age, can afford to downsize and find a place where they can live in the town they love and they don't have to move out. And we tried to do this by listening to the mayors and first selectmen. And I heard a number of things that really resonated with me. They said, look, Governor, I understand going from commercial to residential makes an awful lot of sense. As of right, make that easier and faster to do. We have too much empty space in our commercial, and we need housing, But they said, do me one favor. In our downtown areas, in our transit-oriented areas, make sure that if I go from commercial to residential, maybe that first floor can still be a restaurant or retail, just to keep our towns coming to life and be able to make a difference there. We listened to our mayors and first selectmen, and we're able to accommodate that. I heard a lot about parking, and sometimes planning and zoning uses parking as a way to sort of discourage development. And I thought that was fundamentally unfair. So we said, look, for any units under 16, say, small, we're going to make sure that we can speed things up, still give our towns a little bit of flexibility when it comes to parking, but making it easier for us to build, making it easier for us to develop. That's what we're trying to do today. Again, I want to thank Jason Rojas and Bob Duff for sitting down. We spent hours together. We worked very closely with the mayors and first selectmen, worked together with the legislature. We were all united in how important housing is to the state. Every business I talk to, when they say we're thinking about expanding or moving, they say, will there be housing? Will there be housing from our workforce? Will there be a place for young people to be? Our towns and cities, our cities are growing again. That's really important. With Seila, we're building more housing today we have over the last 5 or 10 years. And we're making progress, but not fast enough. This housing bill is about making sure that we build housing in places where mayors want to put it. Mayors take the lead. They'll be able to work with the COGs. Because housing does not stop at a town's border. So working with the COGs, working with the mayors, working with the first selectmen, you tell us where you want that housing to be, and we're going to be there as your partner to make sure it gets built. And I couldn't do any of this without my Lieutenant Governor, Susan Bysiewicz. Susan?
Governor, thank you so much, and happy World Town Planning Day as it happens. But we are also happy to be here today to announce this bipartisan housing bill. We all know that Connecticut needs more affordable housing, and this bill does a lot toward addressing it, from empowering our local leaders, increasing housing supply, and supporting our residents. I am very proud of the work that our administration has done to increase affordable housing in our state. I think it's really important to know that over the course of our administration, we have completed 14,000 new affordable units, 80% of which are affordable, and in addition, we have another 7,000 units right now under construction. So we've done more than the past administration. And we're proud of the efforts we made, even with the pandemic in the middle of it. Additionally, though, we're very proud of our Time to Own program, because we've been able to empower 7,400 new first-time home buyers to purchase a new home under that program. And here's why we really need this bill. It was just announced just this week that the median age of a home buyer in Connecticut is now 40. The median age for a home buyer here in Connecticut is 40. And this is up sharply from 5 years ago, when the median age of a home buyer was 33. And I think about that a lot because my kids are all in their late 20s and early 30s, and none of them have a home that they've purchased. So we don't want that to be the case for our kids in Connecticut. We want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to purchase a home. And we also just want to give a shout out to some of the towns that have been leading the way in affordable housing. And those are, for example, West Hartford, Norwalk, New Haven. And those towns are some of the places where most people want to go. These towns are having huge growth. They're some of the best places to live under all kinds of indexes. And so those towns are role models. The more affordable housing that you provide, the more people want to live in your town or city. So this bill is a great step forward because it's going to give all of our towns and cities the incentive to build the housing that we need. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce a huge advocate of affordable housing, Representative Eleni DeGraw.
Thank you to the governor and the lieutenant governor. Thank you to both majority leaders. I stand here sort of as a representative for both of the housing chairs and my wonderful co-chair in the Senate, Senator Rahman. We are very excited that we have finally gotten to this point, and I am certainly grateful for all of the people who are standing here today. But I do want us to focus on the fact that the people who are not standing here today are the people who are counting on us and who have been counting on us for years to finally address this issue. You may have read in the Connecticut Insider this morning the rather lengthy article about the state of homelessness in Connecticut and the fact that we lost over 130 souls last year to homelessness. You may be thinking about the fact that we have single moms with 2 kids working 2 jobs living in homeless shelters. I know I am each and every day. And so it is not just about the folks who are looking to purchase a home. And I believe the first-time home buyer number is actually over the age of 50 now, as opposed to other home buyers being at the average age of 40. And I just hope that as we are standing here and we are talking about how many voices were at the table, that we remember the people who have been voiceless for so long and in such desperate need of having affordable housing to be addressed. So I am grateful that we finally got here. I want people to understand that this bill has had such an incredible amount of input that for years, many pieces of this bill have had public hearings. So we have heard from the public, we have heard from our towns, we have heard from our regional COGs. We are grateful to all of these organizations. We could not have gotten to this point without them. And one final thank you to the staff who quite literally did not stop since we got out of session in order to sit in those meetings with our leaders and make this happen for the people of Connecticut. Thank you.